Hello friends, welcome back to Yoga with Paige. It's good to see you again. Today's practice, we unlock the hips through some deep stretching, some deep breathing, and some surrendering. So find what feels good in your body. See what comes up for you as we unlock the physical hips. Maybe we unlock some mental, emotional energy as well. So just observe what goes on in your body, in your mind. Grab your mat and we can get started. We start today lying down on our backs, taking a few breaths here, coming into the practice. Breathing deeply in through the nose and out through the nose, filling the belly and the lungs with air. One more deep breath. Just letting tension go, coming into this present moment. On the next inhale, draw the knees into the chest, pressing the lower back down into the mat. Hands come to the knees, and we slowly take them in little circles. Warming up the hips, very gently here. Nice and easy, just little circles, maybe reversing the other way, making them as deep or as small as we want, as feels good. Beautiful. Making sure we feel evened out. And then gently guiding the knees over to the right side, just finding a little twist here, gazing over the left shoulder. We're only here for a few breaths. Just a gentle waking up of the spine. Exhale, come back onto the back. Gently guide the knees over to the left, gazing over your right. Maybe closing the eyes for a moment, going within, using this posture as a little check-in. See how you're doing today. One more deep breath. And then come on to the back, sending the feet up in the air, finding happy baby. Taking peace fingers around big toes, or we can use a yoga strap around the feet if we can't reach. Again, pressing the lower back into the mat, feeling supported, grounded. Just letting the hips open where they want to. Seeing if our body wants to rock and sway, or if it wants to just surrender to the stillness, to the opening. Listening to your body, making this practice your own. Beautiful, deep breathing, opening up the hips, maybe pulling the feet closer in, opening through the groins. Another deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Release tension. Then planting the left foot, crossing the right ankle over that left knee and taking both legs into the chest. Reverse pigeon, opening up through the outer right glute, making sure we're flexing both feet, really pulling, hugging those legs into the chest. Breathing through this deep stretch. Beautiful. Exhale to gently switch. Release and switch. Pulling the knees into the chest. Now waking up the left glute. Finding joy in these deep stretches, feeling ourselves open, lengthen. One more breath. Then gently release. Take the hands behind the thighs. Find a gentle rock up. And then put the soles of the feet together, bound angle pose. Pressing the feet together, finding the big toe again, lifting the chest up high, sending the knees down into the mat as close as we can. Maybe using the elbows here to gently send them down a little bit more, feeling this opening through the inner groins. One more breath here. Maybe we fold a little forward on the exhale. Inhale, lift the chest back up, planting this right arm down, still holding the feet, reaching the left arm up, beautiful side body stretch, still rooting down through the sit bones. Exhale to gently release and switch sides, reaching that right arm for the sky. Exhale to release. Gently take the feet away, crossing this right ankle over the left knee again. Finding our fire log pose, so if our feet are more comfortable here, or if we're more comfortable without them crossing, whatever feels good to you. Listening to our bodies, sitting up, big inhale, reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale, slowly walk the fingertips forward, still wanting both of the sit bones on the mat, reaching through the crown, finding length in the spine, just opening up through the hip flexors, the glutes. Deep breaths here. Beautiful. Inhale, lift up the chest, rock back on the sit bones, find that little balance spot so we can switch sides. Making sure we take our time to find what feels good here before we fold forward. So inhale, lift. Exhale, slowly walk the fingertips. Just lean a little bit. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, lift the chest, uncross the feet, and come onto all fours. But this time, we're switching it up. We're going to kind of face the side. So we can have our hands off the mat. We want our knees probably on the mat. So the knees underneath the hips. Going to extend this right leg long. So we want the foot in line with this left knee. Grounding through the right hand, peeling the left up, finding a nice big twist here. Trying to keep the hips square. Exhale, we can thread the needle if this is comfortable. Go slow, see how it feels. If we're a little tight, this might not be as accessible. So we can always take that leg back in and do our traditional thread the needle. This just opens the hips a little bit more. Trying something a little different. Exhale, press back up, release the arm. Then using the core to lift up, gate pose prep. Nice and strong here. Inhale, exhale, release the right hand, left reaches over, side body stretch. One big round of breath here. And then exhale, sweep that arm over across the face, taking this left leg in and sitting down on the sit bones. Flexing the right foot, reaching over, trying to grab the foot. We can kind of do this little rocking motion here. We can square the hips and get a hamstring stretch. Or maybe we want another side body stretch. This is your practice, your game. One more breath, whatever pose you wanted to take. And then we exhale to release, turning towards this left leg, coming into Pigeon Pose. Extending the right leg long behind us, lifting up. Our chest is high, spreading through the collarbones, sending the pelvis down into the mat, opening up through the hips. Big inhale. Exhale, slowly walk the fingertips forward, coming down onto the forearms, maybe onto the forehead, sleeping pigeon, really releasing in the outer glutes. A few deep rounds of breath here. Focusing on your breath and on the sensations in the lower body. Quieting the mind. Letting go of the past. Not thinking of the future. Just being in the here and now. Filling the lungs with air. Focusing on releasing. Our hips should feel a little bit more open now. We're getting closer and closer to the mat. We take one more big breath. And then gently lift the head. Pressing through the hands, lifting up. Tucking the back toes, coming onto all fours, turning to the side of the mat to repeat on the other side. Extending the left leg long, finding our alignment here. Grounding through the left hand, peeling the right up, big inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, finding our variation. Keeping the leg extended if that feels okay for you. Making sure to trust your own body and not comparing your practice with anyone else's. Just finding what feels good to you. Exhale, release, sending that right arm back up. And inhale, raising the chest. Exhale, reach over, big side body stretch. Exhale, come on down onto the sit bones, flexing that left foot. Again, taking whatever variation pose you want here. There are a few options. There are always options, more than a few. Maybe we take a combination. Maybe we play around a little bit. Wherever we are, take one more deep inhale and exhale. And then slowly make your way into Pigeon Pose. Turning to the back of the mat. Finding our positioning here, making sure to take your time. Inhale, lifting through the chest, squaring the hips, sending them down into the mat. And exhale, slowly come down into your sleeping pigeon. Beautiful, nice deep breaths. Always coming back to the breath. Whenever the mind wanders, it's okay if it wanders. Releasing tension. Finding anywhere or holding on to extra tension, maybe on the shoulders, in the jaw, in the hips, and just release. Surrender. A few more breaths here. Deep. Fill the nostrils and the lungs with air. Expel it all out. Gently lifting the head, pressing through the hands to take this right leg, meeting the left, And coming into downward facing dog, pedaling out through the calves, warming up the backs of the legs, taking a moment to find our nice long spine. Beautiful. Don't rush anything. Sending the heels down, big toes are together. Take one breath here. Lengthen even more through the spine. Sending the hips up. Then grounding through the left leg, raising the right high, three-legged dog, keeping the hips square. Bending the knee, now stacking the hips, opening to the side, flexing that right foot, trying to gaze underneath the shoulder if we can. Squeezing through the glutes, creating as much space as we can. Exhale, three-legged dog, hips square, gazing at the hands. Bring it in through the chest and release, coming into our high lunge, runner's lunge. Fingertips are on the mat. Chest is forward. We're up on the ball of this back foot, reaching that heel back, creating as much space in this hip flexor area as we can. Inhale, raise the arms above the head. Exhale, shift the chest forward, arms come behind. Nice and strong. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, send them back. One more time. Moving with the breath. Beautiful. Releasing the hands to the mat. Walking, heel toeing that foot out to the edge of the mat, coming into lizard pose. Still sending this left heel back. We're either up on the hands or we can come down onto the elbows, depending on how open we are. Really reaching that left heel back. Nice and lifted, feeling this hip flexor lengthen. We're getting it nice and open today. Maybe things are coming up for us in this practice. We just observe. One more breath. You got it. Exhale, drop that left knee. Coming onto the outer edge of this right foot, send the knee out to the side, then reach the right arm back, kick up the foot, finding the ankle, pulling it into the hips, sending the hips down as far as we can, feeling such an opening in the lower body. Maybe taking a slight back bend as well. This can be almost a full body activation here, gripping through this left hand. Beautiful. And exhale, release. Turning to frame that foot, taking the hands back inside the right foot to tuck the back toes. Take a vinyasa, step back into plank pose, slowly lower down with control, elbows tucked in by the sides. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, over the toes, downward facing dog. Grounding through the right leg, left comes high, three-legged dog, hips are square. Bending the knee, stacking the hips, flexing the foot. Breathing nice and deep, gripping through the fingers. Using your core, nice and active. Exhale, three-legged dog, leg is straight. Using your core, bring the knee in through the chest. Release, runner's lunge, sending that right heel back. We're up on the fingertips. Finding our positioning here. Then inhale, release the arms up high. Exhale, airplane them behind. Inhale. One more breath like this. Nice. Release the hands to the inside of the foot, coming into our lizard. Still reaching that right heel back, creating as much expansion as we can. Beautiful. Taking nice, deep, full breaths here. Exhale, send the hips down a little bit more. Beautiful. Nice and strong in the quadriceps. We're strengthening as well as lengthening right now. One more big breath. And then release the knee. Kick that leg back, coming onto the outer edge of the left foot. And open up through the hips. Sink them down. Beautiful. Notice any sensations that are going on physically for you, or any mental energy. I just love this stretch so much. One more breath. Beautiful. Release on the exhale. Come to frame that foot. Press back. Untuck the right leg. Still extending the left leg long. We're going to cross this right knee over the left, coming into another twist. So taking this left hand, actually reaching for the right knee, taking the right hand behind. Lifting up through the crown of the head, pulling that knee into the chest, helping you twist just a little bit more. Still not forcing anything, but just finding a deep lumbar twist. Beautiful. Exhale, come to frame the back of the mat, crossing this foot over the thigh, placing it a little bit above the knee, about an inch. Still flexing this left foot, gently just walk the fingertips towards the foot, getting a little hamstring stretch as well. One more breath. Inhale, lift, extend the right leg, crossing the left over, and finding our twist, reaching that left hand back. Maybe our gaze finds the front of back of the room as well. Breathing. Sending energy out through that heel. One more breath. Exhale, release. Taking our little hamstring stretch, finding that comfy position for the ankle, then reaching for the right foot. Finding our normal breathing pattern if we haven't already. Lifting the chest back up, uncrossing the legs, taking the soles of the feet to the edges, the wide edges of the mat, and just finding gentle windshield wipers. To end our practice by loosening up the hips, making these deep, maybe taking a twist with them. Finding whatever feels good if we want to add in any extra movements or poses right now that our body is yearning for to really release and unlock the hips. We can take that now. Otherwise, if we're feeling evened out and loosened up, we can find a comfortable sitting position and reach the arms up. Inhale, exhale, hands come to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. It is an honor to be your guide, and I can't wait to see you next time on the mat. Namaste, my friends.